Hi everybody, Lori here from Found Florist Farm. I'm the flower chick and I am actually doing one of my pressed flower lines right now, and junk journaling is the name of the game tonight. And because Halloween is like literally like a month away, the day before, right? It's the making of this video is what, September 30th, so we're about a month away. I am using some pressed flowers from my pressed flower kit. This is from my poltergeist purple kit. This is peony. Anyway, I'm just going to go through, I'm just going to make it and have it be wonderful. And this is from a Halloween packet that I will be putting online I'll have a mini kit that'll be for shadow boxing. For a mini kit for like scrapbooking, for like books like junk journals. Then I'll have a larger kit that'll be for making something for your wall. And so I'm just going to get started. I've already cut out, I think that's part of the fun, is actually cutting out the pieces. I cut out my cat and she's really cool. And she happens to belong to, wait for it, yes, Detective Adelaide right there. And she is my special detective. And oh no, I broke her. I'll have to fix that. I didn't mean to do that. I brought this to school to show my students. I actually teach floral art, so I'm gonna have to fix her. But that's okay, right? It's all a process. So I used pressed flowers on here. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a purple theme. So I did a tint. This one has a tint of like a little bit of a shade of black and purple. And so we're going to set the stage. And I always lay out my pieces first. Again, this is pressed peony. And there's her cat. And her cat's name is Shadow. And I have a story about that. If you notice, there's a little bit on her ear here that's cut. It's cut on like a little clip, like it's clipped off. And I actually had a real cat named Shadow. And so with that being said, Shadow, when I found her, I used to work at a flower shop and there was this cat and it wouldn't come near me. It would like look at me, and I tipped the top of this. So I'm just going to there we go. So the cat would look at me and it would let me feed it, but it didn't let me do anything. It wouldn't let me get real close. But then eventually I got its trust and it got really close to me, and winter was coming and I was really, really upset because I didn't want to leave that poor cat there in the winter, and it was sleeping under a dumpster, and it, like I said, it wouldn't come near me. By the way, this silver that I'm using, I know I get a lot of comments and questions. This silver is from my Supernatural silver. So the packet that I have on my shop, that's what that's from. I make all of these myself, so I do not buy them in. This is all created in our studio here. There's no buying and reselling. This is all us. And these were hand-picked by us right here on beautiful northeastern Connecticut. And if we can't, we'll use a local supplier. We like to use as many local suppliers as possible. You won't find this on any, site other than mine because it's mine. I came up with, this is a product line that I developed. And so these are my pressed, like I said, my pressed silver. I really wanted this piece to just sort of, I don't know, my, Shadow, she was just such a wonderful cat. So anyway, getting back to the story. So the story was Shadow with her little ear like this, it's all cut, is because when she literally did have what they called a clubbed ear, and it didn't start out, they said, that way. It probably happened to her, like over time she got an infection, something happened. But with that being said, I really wanted to get her and I didn't know how. So Shadow here, I kept coaxing. So what I did is that one day I went, and I'm going to use a moon. Isn't that cool? This is in my Halloween kit that I'm going to be putting up. And I'm not sure if I want it behind, maybe behind. And I don't know, because I want to be able to see her. I want to be able to see the moon. So what happened was I got her and I got her to the vet and I used my car and I had a little cat carrier in my car waiting. She was not happy with me. No. So I got her to the vet. They looked her over. She was given all of her shots and all that stuff and cleaned up. And then she became my cat for years and years and years. And the reason we named her Shadow, well, she was black, but that's not why we named her Shadow. The reason we named her Shadow was because she followed you everywhere. Anywhere we went, she would go with you. And I used to take a walk around the block. We lived in kind of a country neighborhood, and my daughter was a baby at the time, and I'd go with the stroller. Now, I did not put her on a leash. So people would say to me, oh, did you put her on her leash? No. I literally would just go take a walk, and she would follow us like a dog. And we'd go all the way around the block, and there she was, traipsing along. And so that is my quick little story about Shadow. So if you notice, I have some black feathers here, and I'm trying to decide exactly where I want to put them. When I make a junk journal or a scrapbook, I never like to glue it down until I like its placement. So in my little, so right now, storylines are my jam. So when I create a page, there's a story that goes along with it. So Adelaide, the detective you saw on the first page, I can't really turn it back because then this is all going to go everywhere. She got a letter, a mysterious letter, and she is going to travel from New York to England. And this is set in like Victorian times. And she's not sure who sent it, but there is a crow, and there's a crow that actually cause, and she thought it was really, it's very interesting because the crow is in two storylines. It's in hers, and then there I have this kit. It's vintage. It's a shadow box kit, and it's a vintage set, and it has a man in it. And if you know the story, there's a story behind it that I have made up, and he wakes up to find his journal missing. And the story goes, when he wakes up, there was a crow, and the crow was in the window. And believe it or not, he thinks the crow took his journal. So that is part of my storyline that I'm developing right now for these little kits I have going on. So I like the way this is coming out. However, I feel it's a little jumbly. So that's why, like, again, I like the way this is, though, the feather. It's sort of, I don't know, it's just going on the curve that's going with the peony leaves. And I really like the silver. I'm not sure if the moth, it's actually not a butterfly, it's a moth, is really, I don't know. I'm not sure I like that yet. So I think I'm going to take that out. But really, the focus is Shadow. Shadow's the focal point. There's a moon because, it's at night. It's kind of a Halloween theme. And I feel that this is the beginning of it. And I'm really not sure where I'm going to take it. But I think this is where I'm going to start. And what I'd like to do before I take is see all this white or cream color behind it. I'm thinking that I want to have a night sky. So with that being said, I want to paint my night sky first. All right, are you ready? So I'm going to take this as carefully as I can, and I'm going to move it. So I'm just going to take, hold on. Hopefully people are still watching. I'm going to take the pieces, and I'm just going to slide them so I have it kind of in the position I want it. All right, all I did was I slid it off onto this paper. I'm going to put that to the side for a minute. I'm going to talk about, I decided, now when I started this page, I did not start thinking I was going to have a skyline, but I really want one. So I'm going to explain how I'm going to do this. Number one, I have to figure out what the color is going to be. I think I want it to be kind of mysterious and dark. Some of my kits, I have like these blue tones, and I think that's what I want the sky to be. But then I'm going to use some glitter to make it look like stars. So, you know, you don't have to have expensive stuff to do this. I have a navy Craft Smart paint. Now, I'm not sponsored by them. Nobody has reached out to me. I'm not affiliate marketing with any of these companies. But I'm going to just show you. I like the color, and so I use it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my night sky with my paintbrush here. If I can get her out. Let's see. And I'm just going to brush this on. Now, I'll tell you a fun fact about my journaling. I don't like to cover up the pages. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I feel like it'd be really cool to be able to actually read the book, or somebody could look through my pages. So what I do is I actually add pages in between. This page is attached with ribbon. So when I finish this book, somebody could actually thumb through. This book's on insects. It's really old, from 1931. And they could actually go through and read if they'd like to. So what I did is I'm just doing a night sky. Okay. And you could, you know, decide to how, again, the thing that's cool about junk journaling, and somebody just asked this the other day in one of the groups I'm in, and the question was, well, is it okay to do it this way? Or is it okay? How do I start? Or what do I put? It's your journal. Make it whatever you want, whatever theme you want, whatever style you want, which brings me to what I'm going to do right now. I have some glow in the dark paint, and I'm actually going to use it over the blue, and it's clear. It's like, hopefully I can show it to you. Yeah, I have some glow in the dark, and I'm just going to boop. And what I want to do is sort of brush this over. And when I've used it, it doesn't have a color. So what I'd like to do is have this in the backdrop. And then I'm going to add, I know it looks like a lot. It actually is a lot. I have to take a little bit off. But it shows up really well when you do it thick. So I actually tend to be pretty liberal when I use the glow in the dark paint, because of the fact that it shows up better. And if I turn the lights off and I really want it to show up, I really want it to show up. I don't want people to like, huh? I really want it to glitter. So I'm going to leave that like that. And then I'm going to get my little shimmer. I have some sparkles, and I love sparkles. So, okay, so I have to do a shout out here to one of my past students. Hopefully I have enough room for this. So a past student of mine, if she's watching, hello, and you know who you are, Miss Cat. Ironic, Cat. We're talking about cats. She doesn't like sparkles, and she used to kind of tease me about it. No sparkles. And so it was kind of a joke. She was one of my my plant science and floral art students. I'm actually going to use this one because it's so fun, and to me it looks like the sky. And I'm just going to kind of put it over. What's the color? I can't even tell. It's like a it's opalescent. So this is literally an opalescent sparkle. Hopefully you can see that there. Do you see that sparkle? It's sparkly. Hi, Kat. Yeah, I know you know who I can hear her now. No sparkles. So my moon will go back. I might do it a little lower. I think I am, because if there's any that show through, at least I can. Now, if you know anything about painting, again, listen, junk journals, I think it's all bets off, right? You can do whatever you want. So obviously the skyline, you know, if you're doing shading, if you look at the sunset online, if you're a perfectionist, you're probably, I don't know if perfectionists would junk journal. I'm not sure, because everything is kind of mishmashy. But if you look at a sunset and you do want to try to get, like, there are like ombre, I call it like an ombre effect when the sun is setting. But with that being said, I'm this is really for my own enjoyment, and I want to show you how I use my pressed flowers on it. Okay, so that's the beginning, and then what I would do is I'll go back and I'm going to place my pieces. You could let this dry, and then you go back with like your Elmer's glue, decoupage. There's different products. I have a acrylic sealing medium. Sometimes I don't even seal it. Sometimes I like to leave it sort of, or I'll do 3D. Now, here's the cool thing I like to do. I'm gonna explain this to you. I know this is a long video, but I'm hoping that this is going to help some people out. Again, I've noticed a lot of people that are newer to junk journaling and scrapbooking. So you could just take, there's so many different ways. They sell these little like things to raise, like little foam things you can stick on. You could just absolutely make your own though, if you wanted to. They actually make it like you could take and make accordion boxes. But if you wanted to have a 3-dimensional effect, you could just, you know, kind of fold it in an accordion style. You could make a little box. There's many different ways you can do this. I recommend making sure that this is dry before you start trying to hot glue down anything if you're going to use hot glue. But if you wanted your moon to, you know, stick up, what you could do is have it have an accordion kind of a thing like this. And you could glue it on, and you could glue it in more than one place. There's also, hopefully I can show you here, where you could take a piece of paper. Let me not get a good piece of paper, because a good piece of paper, I have some paper here. Okay. I am not the one who created this. I don't know who did, but whoever did, you're genius. So you can take paper and fold it, okay? Fold it like once, and then you can fold it twice, and then hopefully you can see this. You make like a box, okay? And you open it up, and so you have 4 folds, right? I saw it somewhere. I wish I knew exactly where so I could thank you. I don't remember where. And you take and you make a box. So there's 4 folds. See those folds? And you place it. And then when you make your box, you literally will have a box like that. And the back side will be actually glued down. And then your moon would sit on top. And it would sort of give you this like effect. But what I'm going to do is something really simple. I'm literally just going to take a piece of this, and I'm going to put it down, and then the moon's going to go on top, and then it's going to have a little wiggle. But I can't do it yet because it's wet. So you get the idea. This is what it's going to look like. I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. Okay. Put him back. I'm going to put my peony back. Isn't that pretty? Oh, to me, this is just like, it's so pretty. Ah. Okay, and my kitty Shadow, she's got to go back. And then I have this one is more plummy burgundy. This one's more purpley. So I'm just going to go here. I'm going to put her back. And my silver, right? My silver. Whoops. My silver sky. Going in. Some people like to use tweezers to be really careful. I feel that I've never really, well, I shouldn't say never. I have. Now, as you can tell, if you've been paying attention this whole time, the fern isn't in exactly the same place as when I started. But I kind of had the idea of where I wanted it. And so, and then I loved the way the feather, this is in my small kits. My smaller kits, they're under $10. So, and they come with a bunch of pressed flowers, and they come with feathers, and then I give you a couple little items like this that go with it, and you can use them for your journaling. And there we go. I think that's gonna look really nice. You can, and really the kit will definitely make a 5x7 Even like I would probably say possibly, even an 8x10, it comes with quite a bit. So my kits that are smaller, they do have 25 little pieces of flowers, and I usually send them with little surprises. But a themed one that I'm coming out with, which is this Halloween one, will have a mixture of flowers and some little cut out pieces that you would cut out yourself. They'll come printed for you. So you can buy the kit and then make what I'm making right here. But you can make it your own. You don't have to make it exactly like mine. And make it your own little kit. I think I love how he's coming out. And then I have this moth. Okay. So I want the cat to like look like it's a she because she's Shadow. I have to keep her in the midst, and I'm just going to put a little bit of moss here. And then when I'm all done, I've got this really cool vibe going. I'm going to use a little bit more silver. I want a little silver behind my kitty. Meow. Oh, so fun. So fun. And then I'm going to see how this curves. So I want that one to curve back up too. And then I feel like the top here, I don't like the way they look like they're floating. So I am adding in some fern behind here so they don't feel like they're floating. This is where actually a tweezer can come in handy, especially if you're not gluing it down right away, because then you can move them and manipulate them and then go back underneath there. I just breathed on that. Okay, I think I'm going to call this partially done. I hope this gave you an idea for a really cool Halloween junk journal page or scrapbook page. Maybe if this was going to be bigger and you were going to turn it into a scrapbook page, you could have the picture of somebody who, maybe it was Halloween and you had a special party. You could put the picture in the middle and get my larger kit, which comes with the window box. It's like a window box, well, a shadow box that goes on the wall, and you could create something bigger. Anyway, that's my idea. Have a great one, everybody.